Another day, another video. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Today we're watching a 100. This episode 10 of the 5th season. Hope you guys have been enjoying it so far, and if you'd like to watch today's full episode, it is available for free in the link in the description below. Just click on it, put the password in, and enjoy. Speaking about links in the description, we are running our most liked to dislike characters of season 5, so please do take 30 seconds, choose your people, and obviously your results of mine will be shown in the final episode of this season. As I was saying in the end of episode 9, in my personal opinion, there is more contenders of a most disliked character than there is going for the most liked, and that is the first time I believe that I can remember that actually happening. I've had characters here now that have won the most liked character multiple times, and now potentially, you know, are leading the race for the dislikes. It's funny how times have changed and how characters obviously evolve and adapt, and different storylines, different seasons forms different opinions. Very, very good. Honestly, I can't wait to see obviously those results. Now, DIYOZA, she's obviously tried to keep Enquiry away from this, you know, from pretty much being cured. You know, she wants his people to die, she wants him to go away. He's the father of a child, he doesn't know that yet, and obviously Murphy's gone. He's actually told him that there is a cure and that she's keeping it hush, and he's grabbed his people and they've all marched in. Big fights happening, they're all scrapping. You know, he's managed to go over, he's got DIYOZA in a headlock, he's winning. She's turned around, she said, mate, if you kill me, then you're never going to see your unborn baby. Then obviously it's given him a bit of hesitation. She's grabbed a shard, stabbed it in the back of his neck, do you know what I mean? She's ran off, she's managed to escape. He's there, do you know what I mean? Like, he's fuming as well. Now he's obviously stuck in a hard place. He don't really know what to do, does he? Does he kill her? Does he not? Does he kill his child? Does he take charge? Mad mate, he's stuck in a predicament. Obviously Chaos is obviously going inside their own internal camp, and this is obviously give Echo, Raven, Amora, you know, Murphy time to obviously pop these necklaces off and escape. Also, they brought you know, they brought the pilot with them as well, which is quite decent. He's kind of got a relationship kind of going with Raven. They bantering off each other here and there. You know, they've been through some tough situations. Now they've been through some, like, you know, like happier ones. And, you know, I'm not too sure where their relationship's going to go, but I'm interested to see. Now, speaking about relationships, mate, some are dwindling down. You know, Clark and Bellamy, obviously, you should see how happy they was to reunite, obviously, at the start of the season, and now look at it. He wanted to put the flame inside of Maddie. You know, she is 100% against it. He said it's the only way. Do you know what I mean? If we choose OCTAVIA's path, then we're going to go there, we're going to march on, we're going to fight, we're going to possibly destroy the Greenland, and obviously maybe kill our friends and family that are there as well, and I don't want to do that. To me, there's another way around it. You're only seeing it one way because you're solely focused on her. OCTAVIA's obviously seen it in her way because she's solely focused on war, and that's the reason why he took her out last episode. Now, interestingly, obviously, Indra's gone in to see if OCTAVIA's okay, you know, just putting up, playing up appearances, do you know what I mean? And she's kind of woke. She ended up mentioning that it was Bellamy that attacked her, and Jackson heard it. Indra had to think fast. She threw some scissors, killed one of the guards that was in the room. Then she grabbed Jackson and obviously, like, knocked him out. She put something in his neck, and then she turned to OCTAVIA and said, mate, nobody's leaving this room. Now, again, the interesting thing is, yeah, Nyla, she's obviously on OCTAVIA's side, so she's gone after the Ascension call's been blown, because obviously they're going to put the chip inside of Maddie without obviously Clark's approval, and she's gone in, she's heard Clark's speech saying that it's not me, I don't want her to do it, you know, this is Indra, this is Bellamy, they've gone rogue, now's attacked the guards, uncuffed obviously Clark, they've chased after OCTAVIA, they've gone into the room, they've freed to her, they've gone after Maddie. Unlucky for them, the chip actually has been put inside of her. Now, before she could obviously recite obviously the what is it, lineage or whatever you want to call it for the true commander to obviously take you know, to the throne, so to speak, Clark took her away, shushed her away. She took her to a car, into a vehicle. As she was in there, obviously Maddie woke up, she ended up turning to one of the guards and giving him like loads of detail about his, you know, like his heritage and like where he's from and his family, and he ended up kneeling to him himself. Now Clark, again, she having none of this. She doesn't want Maddie to be any part of this. She shot that guard, and she's obviously just escaped with Maddie, which ended the episode with OCTAVIA being in front of her people in the pit, shouting to everybody, saying that she is not WONKRU, you know what I mean, like, she is not the true commander. Pretty much saying that she's their enemy now, do you know what I mean? She hasn't recited the things, the full ritual's not taken place, and OCTAVIA's still in charge, and if anybody's against it, they're against WONKRU. Interesting stuff, mate. Can't wait to find out what happens. If you do enjoy today's episode, please smash the like, really helps out. Subscribe if you do, and as always, let's jump into episode 10 of the 5th season of the 100.
Stop! Get away from me! I'm going back!
Oh, no, you're not. It's 50 miles to Polis.
I said no!
That thing is not staying in your head.
Yes, it is! And if you want to take it, you're gonna have to kill me. Commanders don't run away.
Well, it's a good thing you're not a commander. Damn it, Maddie! I'm gonna tell DIYOZA that the eye is down. I'm gonna tell OCTAVIA that she knows. She can decide not to march or march and be destroyed.
Oh, they got the eggs, aren't they? Oh, they're already hatching.
2 problems solved.
Yo, I'd love the worms to catch them. Do you know what I mean? Come back at them. She's not just infected that land. Like, what is the literal point in that? Alright, so Clark's just smashed them on the floor. First of all, did that have to happen? Could they not have just left the box there? Had they not just infected that land now? Do you know what I mean? They said that they couldn't survive for a long time in the green land, but that's not green. That looks like a wasteland. That looks like a place where they probably, you know, adapted last time and evolved. So, I mean, that's a terrible idea. Secondly, the thing that's annoying me with Clark, it actually is annoying me, is that I feel like she's got no hardcore substantiation into her reasoning why she doesn't want Maddie to have the flame. Now, if it's because of obviously what she's seen and experienced with Lexa, I can kind of get it, but like, I don't know, man. Like, she's willing to let loads of people die just to save Maddie, but like, I don't know. It's hypocrisy sometimes in certain situations, and I feel like she has no real background as like, I don't know, like story to actually stand by and go for. I just feel like she's just agendering it and saying, "Yo, Maddie, I don't want you to do it. We're not having it," and that's it. Even if Maddie wants to.
Yo, check everything. Cracks in the floor, the mattresses. You don't look so good, Doc.
That makes 2 of us. I can hear the fluid filling up in them. You're drowning. You're not even getting wet.
You knew she's pregnant. It's mine. I tell you that.
No, but I can see why she wouldn't brag about it.
A contest. Your disease versus mine. Something tells me you'll break before I die.
Probably right there, to be fair. Hers is like instant, like all on you in it. His is slow deterioration.
The fact that there's a supposed commander out there has complicated things. Even at half strength, we outnumber DIYOZA's army.
Still not enough. Not without the worms.
Maybe, maybe not. But we still got the element of surprise. I say we go win this war, and once we do, the rest of WONKRU, they'll follow.
I want you to bend the knee to her, but I know you won't. You want your army to march? Show them what happens when they don't.
I thought it was going to say, look, mate, you know, half the army that don't want to march, when he said that, you know, we'll win and then they come and join us, well, I'd disregard, I'd kick them all out, mate. I'd say, you're not WONKRU. Do you know what I mean? WONKRU are you the enemy? Do you know what I mean? Like, literally, if they didn't march in battle, then they're not part of you. So when you're victorious, they don't get the benefits. They don't get the land. They don't get the food. Do you know what I'm saying? They get kicked away. That's what I would have done anyway. That's what I thought that they were saying from the start of the thing. But obviously, no, she was kind of saying, look, mate, you know, show them now. If they're not united, what actually happens, which I do agree with. You know, they've got to have some sort of consequence for going against a leader, whether it's going against Maddie or you know, Indra or Octavia. Whoever's in charge, there's got to be that answer to. Arian?
Here I thought the time of the commanders was over.
It was. No, it's not.
You gave me the strength to be more than I ever thought I could be.
I gave you nothing. Strength was already there. Octavia come Skycrew was my second. I taught her when to attack and when not to. I advised her to do what's best for her people. You wouldn't surrender, and you won't give up the throne to the rightful commander. So now you'll use fear to bend WONKRU to your will. If you put us in the arena, I won't be losing a daughter.
Yes.
I will win. I will have her take my life.
She'll kill Bellamy first.
Take your brother.
Yeah. The only person that loses going into that, you know, into that pit is Octavia, because there is no way Bellamy's coming out of it. I just don't believe it. Do you know what I mean? Like, I thought that Indra was going to fight in the conclave. That's how strong I think Indra is. I wasn't disappointed that she didn't fight, but I was like, what the hell, mate? That other dude that they put in there. And he got took out second as well, didn't he? He literally, Triku was second to lose in the conclave, so that was a poor decision. Indra should have been there. She's a strong one. And I firmly, you know, I firmly believe it, that that's actually what would happen. That she'd go in, they'd kill Bellamy, she'd kneel down, she'd let Gaia win. You know what I'm saying? And the thing is, right, why does there have to be one leader? When you looked at before, right, okay, we had Lexa, she was a commander, but you also had the 13 clans, and they all had their own leader. You had Queen Naya, you know what I mean, Ice Nation. She had a full-on army. A big, massive that wanted to take down Lexa. You know what I mean? They thought they was that strong. They could overthrow the Empire. So, like, why can't Maddie be the commander and you rule? You know what I mean? Blood Rainer, your people. You can still work in harmony and together and work for one goal. Clark and Lexa was trying to do the same thing when he was trying to take down Mount Weather. Do you know what I'm saying? And why can't you do the same thing now? Why can you not both unite and go after DIYOZA and McCreary yourself as two armies, two leaders and two heads and be wiser? don't understand why there's always one. Every time you watch it, it's always you and I instead of we. And that's where they need to get round.
No visitors. I have an appointment. We'll have to think of a less shocking way for you to contact me.
I like that, Bance.
From what I can tell, DIYOZA, your friend Kane, and most of the defectors are safe.
I'm already in withdrawal. Another deep breath. My blood pressure goes any higher. I could have a seizure.
Tell me what you need.
See you again in 2 hours.
Shouldn't you be working on a plan to get Bellamy out of jail?
What if I told you I had one?
Then I'd throw you in the pits with him, and Indra would kill you too. He poisoned me, Auntie, with your algae. I still don't want my brother to die.
Then don't go through with it. 2 days ago, these plants were on life support. Now look at them. Imagine what the algae can do in 2 weeks. The protein crops are rebounding too. Octavia, if I'm right, can do the same thing to the topsoil on the ground. It'll take longer. A few years, maybe more. But the point is, we don't need shallow valleys.
Yo, people are too smart, mate. Imagine that. Imagine being able to create your own crops again from nothing.
Last chance. Will you help me?
No.
Must be nice playing Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden.
Awful.
Fight to live or you die. If you were here, you'd understand. The farmers won't save the world, Monty. The warriors will.
A ship, or do you know what I mean? The machinery, yeah, doesn't all work unless all cogs are turning together. Do you know what I'm saying? You can't have the front people. Like, an army would never win, yeah, if it doesn't have all the resources and all the technology and all the backing and all the weapons and all the people behind. This is why you see it in films all the time, yeah? You'll see a soldier, because they're on the front line and somebody else is working back at base, yeah, they think they're different. You're not a true soldier. You're not the same as me. You're not on the front line. You know what I mean? Like, they don't get the same respect. But it's like, well, hang on. Do you know what I mean? What about the engineers and the medics and the people here working back at base? If we wasn't here, you wouldn't be able to do what you need to do on the front line. So, like, this is where Octavia can't see it. She is stuck in the stubbornness. And I've noticed it, in my personal opinion, from earlier on in the season, to be honest, that everything that she's doing is to keep her persona up, that she is Blood Rainer, she's in charge. And what's happened in the past, she thinks needs to happen in the present. But like Indra said, you know, time of the Blood Rainer has gone. She's what we needed 6 years ago. The time of the present is the time of the commander. And that is what I'm talking about. Like, people need to adapt to the times, because if you don't adapt and evolve, just like modern day technology, you can have the best thing right now and in 6 years it could be absolute shite because you're unwilling to move and advance with what everybody needs. And this is the thing. She was once the person that they all needed, a Blood Rainer, but those methods don't work right now, you know, and you could see half her army are not following, people that she's trying to threaten are not listening. She's got to go to extreme measures to try and drag people back on the side.
Again, please. You're making a mistake. I can save you.
With my stand, you don't have to live in the bunker anymore.
Who's that?
Can change everything.
He burned her alive. Becca Promena.
Oh, it was Becca, it was. That's interesting. Like, it's trying to show that you, no matter what you are, you know, people will turn against you.
Remember lily pads? God, you used to hate that game. Jumping from table to chair to bed. I cut my lip. I bled all over the place. But you took care of that. Cut your own arm open so people would think it was your blood. Away from that to poisoning me.
It's not, mate. You're a long way from where you was, not Bellamy.
To save you two. And you're still ready to go to war?
Even though Indra has told you how many of your people would die.
What kind of leader does that?
I came here to save your life. Indra has a weakness. Her shoulder never fully healed from the bullet Pike put in her.
Octavia, would you listen to yourself?
Gaia will go for the staff, and you'll worry about her after you take out Indra.
Now call this thing off and make a deal to share the valley. Or you watch me die in that arena today.
I hope he don't fight me. I don't want him or Indra to die. Like, big time though. They're like two of my favourite ones.
If you do this, there's no coming back.
You can't save someone who's already dead.
Not even that she don't want to be saved. She might think she's already dead, like she just said. But that looks pretty good, actually. You know, the thing is, right, she's like a prime example of, say, like a young footballer that's coming up through the ranks, and he needs to associate himself around people that tell him when he's been shit or when he can't do that. Yo, you're only 18, just because you're on £200,000 a week, right, doesn't mean that you could do this and that. It doesn't mean that you're above everybody else. You need to be humbled. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, there's people in certain situations where they get too big, and then when people start criticising them, it's not even that criticising, it's advising them the right way. They see it as a negative and a criticise. So, like, on her ascension up to the top, there needs to always be somebody there who doesn't care that she's Octavia, who's in charge. They care about, like, the people and what's right and what's wrong. And they need to tell her, that's a terrible idea, that's shocking, you lost your way, and they need to be kept. Do you know what I mean? Like, you see these young famous athletes, they're coming up the ranks and making so much money, and like when they do something bad, nobody tells them they've done bad because they're scared that they're going to lose those privileges. Or like nobody tells them that you've had a terrible game, you need to improve and focus on it. Stop going out and partying and spending it all on watches and, you know, like cars. Focus on your game and what got you here. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, these people are not negative people. These are people that give you the right advice to keep you trying on the right track. And do you know what I mean? And like, it seems along the way in her ascension, even though Indra's been by her side, that she's not give her the best advice and not stopped her from doing crazy decisions, that now she believes that it's just normal. Do you know what I mean? And she believes that that's the only way. Go and fight in the pit. Don't matter if it's the people that you care about the most, you got to do it because that's how we've done it before.
Hey, shh. We're home. You shouldn't take it out. Why?
Because I can't destroy it. Have you seen enough now to know that you don't want to see anymore?
But I have to. The other commanders want me to see it. To feel it.
Let's go find DIYOZA. Do you see her too?
I know that's why you're scared of me having the flame.
Commanders die, Maddie, badly. I won't let that happen to you.
Look, this is kind of like the first bit of justification why we've got Clark and not wanting us to have it. It's the first time it's took so long.
No lockdown. Just kidding.
Yo, you had me there.
And what's in the other hand? Show us.
I told it.
I'll clean up when I'm through.
All those pills? Not one of them. Oh, right. They did say, bait, he was lying with a thorn in his foot and she pulled it out, but, you know, at the end of the day, he's still a lion.
After I take Bellamy's life, I'm coming for yours. You see my guard dip exposing my throat. You strike.
That's not how this ends.
Gaia, we have to give them a show. You kill Octavia. The guards kill you.
She gonna try to hit her with a spear, like they've done with Queen Naya?
After all this, you still think that because you're her brother, she won't kill you?
Gaia?
Gaia's gonna die. I do believe Gaia's dead. I do believe Gaia's gonna die, man. Oh, God.
We gathered here today to remind ourselves what happens to the enemies of WONKRU. Pay tribute to those who have died so that we might live. Amon Gana-san. Be the last.
Indra could die now then.
I said, be the last.
I knew that'd happen. I'd pick it up and throw it again, me. That's what I would do, honestly.
Octavia told you we have to march. That we have to fight for the one place left where we can survive. But she knows that's not true. The Hydra farm is working again.
This is what I'm saying. Stubbornness is coming through.
If you want to, but at least tell them that they have a choice.
What are your orders?
Stand down.
I'm so happy that they're alive. So happy. Let's see where she's going now, innit? I'll be very interested to see what's happening now. If she's going to go in there and destroy them, I'm going to be so disappointed, man.
We have to find her.
Why? She didn't shoot us, right? That's gotta mean something.
It means she lost the battle, not the war.
So disappointed in Octavia. I'm actually so disappointed in you. Like, I really, really am.
Why are we going the long way?
I'm guessing DIYOZA sleeps in her ship. We're gonna come up from behind.
You remember now.
How can we remember what we never knew?
Guy's got a point.
Your mother's a defector, too.
Bury the bodies.
Should have left one alive.
Where's DIYOZA?
We don't know.
And the doctor?
Where's she?
Gas station. Can take you.
Yes, Maddie. That's what I'm talking about. Savage kid. Yes, that is so good.
Mom.
She ODing now. She had none and now she had loads.
What happened to her?
Wake up.
Miller. The little whipping boy, look at him.
That's enough to make it to the valley.
The family's waiting.
There is a lot of them there though, isn't there, to be fair. Alright, so that's going to wrap up today's episode, and it's interesting. And, like, you know, in my personal opinion, I think Octavia shown so much weakness in this episode, to be honest. Again, I understand the concept as if you're not, you know, do you know what I mean? If you're against WONKRU, you're the enemy of WONKRU, so to speak. I understand all of that. But you're, like, to me, I've said it consistently throughout the season, but you're just there to fight. You're not there for no objective, outgoing solution. Do you know what I mean? Like, she's not there to save the people. She's not there to survive, and she's just there to attack and to fight for revenge for the attack that happened on them. And, like, do you know what I mean? Like, true leaders need to, like Indra is saying all the time, do you know what I mean? 6 years ago, I took you in as my second or whatever's because, you know, I seen the warrior inside of you. Because Octavia was like, you made me who I am. And she's like, I didn't know, did I? You was already that person. I helped you see the ways. When to fight, when to not. How to look, how to attack, how to defend, protect your people. Objective, smart solutions. Right now, you're blinded. Stubbornness, yeah, is what I was saying last season with Jasper. He had it. He had it. He was determined to die, and it was fine. Do you know what I'm saying? But he was trying to rub it off on other people. I understood the whole Jasper premise of that, you know, the world was ending and he was going out on the high and merry, mate. It was coming in, prime fire. He wasn't going to fight it. He wasn't going to try and stop. He wasn't going to, you know, run away. He was going to live the remaining days of his life as he could, because there was no viable solution to survive, and he was just going to go out the happiest he could be. But then when the bunker appeared and there was a chance to survive, he was so stubborn and determined not to go there because of his previous kind of, do you know what I mean, acceptance. This is Octavia. She is so determined and stubborn in her ways that she believes that the only way to go forward in the horse wearing blinkers is one straight arrow, and she cannot see any other direction off that path. Even if people come with solutions, better strategies, better advice, do you know what I mean? Safer way to save your people, it doesn't matter. She doesn't actually care about saving. Like, from me watching it, she doesn't care about saving people. What she cares about is fighting, getting revenge, and being in charge. And that's the difference. Like, when you're in work and you have a boss, you don't want to be the boss that everybody's scared of. You want to be the boss that everybody comes in and thinks and knows that they can sit down and they can speak to you. You want to be that person that people lean on, that you can give advice for, and you can improve them. You don't want to be the leader that people are scared of, that can't come to you because you are the person in charge. And there's a difference. If I was in charge, I would want to rule everybody, but I would want people to feel that they could come up, they could give me advice, they could say, look mate, you know, we're going to march on these, but it's a crap idea. Monty, you know what I mean, has got this algae farm down here. It's reproducing. We can all live. We can get proteins, these plants. You know, we've got the farm going again. There is not only one objective outlook at, you know what I mean? We don't have to march on these people. I understand that they attacked us and we want to get our revenge, but, you know, the reason the whole premise that we're going is to survive in the only Greenland left in the world, but we could create sustainable living here. She's not listening about that, none of it. And then when it was proposed to her, she went and destroyed it. To me, I think that she would have lost all followers. And yes, they do have to march. All of these have got the bags they have to go, because now it's the only solution that they've got. But in terms of the episode starting, she had half of the people already not kind of on her side, because he was kind of on Maddie's, the true commanders. And then the further the episode goes, you know, you're finding out she's lying to you. She's withholding information. She knows that it's a sustainable place to live and she's still not giving it. And then she goes in and she destroys it. I would march because it's my only option, but I would no longer be following her decisions. She would have lost my faith. So very interested to see how it goes, because this is 10. and we've got 3 more, mate. 11, 12, 13. It's going to be exciting. Not even seen DIYOZA once this episode. We've seen Clark and obviously, you know, Maddie getting closer to try and find her. So I don't know how it's going to be used. I know that they found her mum there. She looks like she's out of it. She's taking an all day. So, mate, I thought the episode was good. To be honest, I kind of feel like I've been negative quite a bit this season in terms of characters, but I also feel like I've really enjoyed the storyline, and my negative like opinion on a character has not had no reflection on the series. I feel like the series has been very good, very entertaining and great. It's given me the options to come back and talk about potential characters and how they've changed, and I think that's really good. It's not a negative on the show, it's how a character's doing an action, and that's why I think it's really good. I am not bashing the season, bashing decisions that a character's making in a leadership role. And that's what I like, mate. Because I still like the show and the story, just not liking some decisions certain people are making. So I think it's good. And that is going to wrap up today's episode. Thank you so much for checking out the channel today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. As mentioned at the start of the episode, it is time to vote for our most liked and disliked characters of Season 5. That is right. It takes 30 seconds. Please do it if you've not done it yet, and your results will be shown in the final episode. Maybe today cemented it and some of the characters, do you know what I mean? Maybe that you've been waiting to push OCTAVIA over the edge or push Clark over the edge, you know what I mean? Or maybe it's what you see today that pushes Bellamy to the top or pushes Indra to the top. Who knows, mate? Loads of stuff's going on. It's very interesting. And I can't wait to see, obviously, who everybody chooses this season. I think that's going to be a really, really exciting one. This would be potentially the best one that I think, possibly, I don't know, mate, of the 5 seasons that we've watched so far, because I have no idea who's going to win the most disliked. I have no idea who's going to win the most liked, but I do think that there's going to be some shockers in there, and it's going to be great. Now, the interesting thing is, obviously, we're seeing here that Abby, you know what I mean, she is dying without those pills. She's cold turkey in it, and she is shaking. She was saying that if any longer, do you know what I mean, her body's going to shut down, she's going to start having seizures. I mean, I'm not going to say that that's not the case. She's a doctor. She could be chatting towards Vincent, is that his name? Or she could be telling the truth. But, you know, if Abby's going to say somebody's got a condition or something's going to happen, I'm going to believe it, because she knows way more than me. And it's interesting because, obviously, he's come back every 2 hours. He's brought the pills. They've seen it. He's gone on the savage attack, mate. Do you know what I mean? He's kind of defended Abby, which is really interesting. He's gone on his, you know, back to his old ways where he savagely killed 2 people. Do you know what I mean? He's like eating them, ripping them apart. He's loving it. He's looking scary. You know, I also did say to Abby, like, look, mate, don't really get close to this guy. He might seem okay, but he is a wounded lion. You've pulled the thorn out of his foot, but at the end of the day, he's still a lion and he'll still attack. And boom, mate, you've seen it here. And obviously, Clark, you know, at the start of the episode, she's taken Maddie. What I thought was daft about her, to be fair, is that they found the eggs, didn't they? Slashed the worms. It looked like they've hatched now inside these glass jars that was in the back of the van. And instead of just lying it down and getting it out of the way, she smashed them. She threw them on the ground. Again, what's going to stop them from keep reproducing? You know, getting bigger and stronger and taking over that environment. Now, again, we have been told that in the Greenland that they can't really survive, so that makes no difference to them if they go there, because obviously they should be okay. Again, I just feel like that was an unnecessary thing that she needed to do. We seen Maddie, mate. She seen Becca Primata being burned, mate. She was at the stake. It seemed like her own people had turned against her and set her on fire. Now, she's going through the emotions, you know what I mean? Clark was saying, I seen you suffering, in your sleep, you're screaming, you're crying, and do you know what I mean? Like, we're going to take this out of you. Now, she's like, nah, we're not taking it out of me. This is what the commanders want me to see. Do you know what I mean? It's like a timeline, it's a story, they've all experienced it. This is what gets them into that position. This is the first time, in my personal opinion, we've had a valid, solid, good reason for Clark not wanting her to have that flame. She actually turned around and said, look, mate, you know, every commander that has this flame dies. They die young, they die painful, do you know what I mean? And they have a lot of enemies. I don't want that to happen to you. This is the first time that I can actually sit here and say, okay, Clark, I can believe that, I can get behind that. That's totally understandable. If you said that from day one, I would have totally got it, mate. But the fact is, I've never really had that reason. I've kind of had the reason, I'm your mum, do you know what I mean? I kind of know what's happened with Lexa and stuff like that, and I don't really want you to be part of this war. But to me, that's not good enough, because desperate times call for desperate measures. And you see it here, Octavia's done the most desperate thing I've seen anybody do in this show, and she's still going ahead, mate. The people are still following her, she's still marching on, and she's still ready to attack. Now, it doesn't mean that everybody's there supporting it, but sometimes you've got to pull it out of the bag. You've got to pull it out the arse, and that is what she done. She was on her last legs. Everybody was rallying against her. She had to make one big move, and she done it. Who's going to you know, argue with her now. She's gonna fight you. Do you know what I'm saying? So like, she's pulled it out of the bag. I'm so happy that Indra didn't die, to be honest. I'm so happy that Bellamy didn't die. They are one of my 2 favourites. I think I go off each season. I do. Obviously, I like people from other seasons as well, and they stay there in nostalgia. Do you know what I mean? I do love Octavia. The past 2 seasons, she's one of my most liked characters. But what I'm saying is, like, I judge everybody on a season as it goes, and you could be really good last season, really annoying this, really good this, you know, really annoying next. It's just simple as that. And I actually think that this season, Indra and Bellamy have objectively looked at situations and how to approach it, save people, go at it. Monty as well. To be honest, Monty's done it really well, but he's not been it. Again, I feel like Monty's not in it as much as everybody else. So, like, you can't really, like, I don't know, like, full-on vote for them as a most like. But, do you know what I mean? Objectively, they're trying to look at living and increasing the human race. Do you know what I mean? Like, a lifestyle, like, on the earth, if that makes sense. Like, they're looking at ways that they can go around things without hurting people, attacking people, preserving life, you know, trying to create food and living quarters. They're looking at all of that, where the rest are just looking at fight, and that's the reason why I'm enjoying their storyline, maybe compared to a few others. Once fight starts, there's a difference. I love a good fight scene. So once, obviously, Octavia marches on here, and if she starts scrapping with DIYOZA and Enquiry, I'll be loving it, because action is key. More action, more entertainment, better show. But also good storytelling, good story building, and obviously character progression, again, is really interesting. And this season's had a lot of it, whether it's been characters ascending or decreasing. Do you know what I'm saying? It's been very entertaining to watch. That's what it is. The season, as I was just saying, season's been great. Characters have been annoying. Characters have been great. It opens a discussion. You can moan, you can praise, and you can also say, great show. And that is where we currently are. I've watched seasons before where I've absolutely just hated the season. I've hated decisions they've made and hated the seasons and the direction, but not this one. I can see it. I know what's happening. I established the characters' personas and traits earlier on in the season, so it's not a shock when we've moved forward. And now I'm excited just to see how they play out and finish. Because personally, I don't think Octavia is this character that she is right now. I feel like it's a persona that she has to feel like she has to upkeep. I feel like, you know, the decision she's making, she actually doesn't fully believe it herself. This is the thing. I'm looking at her, she don't believe her decisions. She feels like she has to stay in charge, and that means more to her than everything. Losing your power is hard. It's like being the one that everybody looks up to, and then a couple of weeks later, nobody cares about it. It's like being a singer, for example. You have one hit song and you're all over the world. Everybody's loving you, playing your music, taking you to concerts, buying your songs, getting all your money. Next year, no one's asked, mate. You are washed up. You've not got that next hit song. Somebody else is taking your place and you can't deal with it. And people don't realise that. That takes a toll on a mind. And she's in this position where she is ruling the army, and she has to keep up appearances. And this is where it's going to be interesting to see Octavia's character, how she adapts to this environment, because like I said, on your mental state, it is solid. And right now, I feel like it's sending her in the wrong direction, and I'm excited to see obviously what and how it concludes with her. That is going to currently wrap up today's episode. Thanks so much for checking out the channel today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please smash a like, really helps out. Subscribe if you do. And as always, I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers, guys.